Shalom, shalom. Here we go again. Here we go. Welcome to Mother Africa Be Calling. I'm your brother, Bezalel Yehudi Yisrael, also known as Eric. Hit that like button, share and subscribe. Welcome to this channel. Hey, for all my faithfuls, love to you. It's a it's a great day to be alive. Also to newcomers to this channel, welcome aboard. Please subscribe, share, make comments. You know, this channel is for you. It's all about us returning back to the motherland and enjoying her, Mama Africa. And so, but you know, right now I'm here. I'm back in the U.S. I've been here since January the 30th, and I'm planning on heading back over. But right now, let's get straight to this topic right here. The topic of discussion today is the sister Ashlee Jenae. I don't want to be the pile on this. I'm kind of late on the story. I've been new about the story, but I decided I had something that's I feel really important that will help somebody, hopefully help many people, especially our young ladies. I figured that I would, in my wisdom and understanding in life, that I could contribute to this and we can get something positive out of it. First and foremost, condolences to her family and her friends, the people who was right there with her and loved her. So anyway, look, Ashlee Jenae, she was poisoned, right? She was poisoned, okay? And that's the part that you won't hear, okay? And what I mean by she was poisoned, meaning that she was poisoned by the ideas of worldliness, right? You know, this fantasy of, you know, living this fabulous life, and that's what it's all about. And you know, living, you know, high above the clouds, and materialism, and chasing after, you know, this fairy tale, this fantasy of, you know, I'm gonna be taken care of, you know, by, you know, this man that's gonna sweep me off my feet, uh this this Prince Charming, who has, you know, everything that a woman would want, you know, like a fairy tale. He'll have me in furs, that my furs be dragging the ground. You know, I'll have maids and servants serving me, and you know, I'll just be propping my feet up, and you know, I be at the most beautiful beaches, and you know, people serving me grapes and wine and laughter and joy, and you know, uh pocketbooks, uh no less than $15,000, and you know, red bottom shoes, 5,000 a pair, uh bracelets, $100,000 bracelets with diamonds, and you know, millions of dollars in jewelry, and the big mansion, and you know, the Ferrari sitting out front, you know, with the you know, Ferrari, and you got all kinds of other vehicles, like whatever she wants, you know, the BMW, the 7 Series, or whatever, you name it, you know, lavish, you know, jet rides, you know, private travel through jets, and you where it's got a room in the jet, and you know, plush sofas in the living room, and uh, sailing the world on yachts, and you know, just eating all kinds of foods, and going and visiting exotic places where it only the rich could go, being in with the in crowd, people looking at me saying, oh man, I wish I was her. Oh wow, she's beautiful. Okay, this is the poison that she was fed. This is the good life. Poison. A beautiful young lady. You say, well, how do you know all that? Well, we can go by her posts, and we can go by the outcome, right? So I'm an investigator, you know, so by trade. And this is an easy one, right? So she opened herself up to be poisoned. She was poisoned by materialism, right? Instead of chasing after what we should be chasing after, and this is what I would say to our young women, young women and older women or middle-aged women, all, but especially our young women, when you at the, the top of your beauty when you're young, okay, you just vibrant, just beautiful, just busting out, like everything is perky, your chest is perky, nothing is falling. I mean, your skin has no wrinkles. I mean, you just glowing. The same thing for your young men. This, I'm speaking to y'all. That don't last forever. Beauty fades. Okay. So you have to, instead of using your beauty to chase after materialism and worldliness, use it to chase after righteousness and everlasting life. See, that's what Satan don't want you to know, because he can't poison you when you're chasing after the Most High Yah, right? He protects you from what happened to her and many others. So, and it's going to happen to more. More women are still going to not look at this terrible, terrible, terrible incident and learn from it. They're not going to learn from it. They're just going to think that, well, that happened to her. My situation is going to be different. It may not happen like this. You may keep your life. You may not, you know, be subtracted from the land of the living, but you could be abused. You could be permanently damaged, hurt, everything. So when you open yourself up to chasing after this type of lifestyle, because most of the people who have these things that you want are wicked people. That's how they get these things. Billionaires and multimillionaires, these people ain't to be played with. They got their riches from Satan most of the time, right? And so, but you're gonna be blind to that if you chasing after materialism, because that's wickedness. And so the Most High, He protects us. But if you if you keep running over and you chasing into wickedness, then He may give Satan the permission to put a touch on you, to touch you, right? Because Satan, he cannot operate without permission. I think he cannot operate unilaterally. I believe that's the word. Yeah, military. He got to get permission from y'all before he touch you. So what does that say? That says that sometimes, like in a case like this, I don't doubt that the Most High sent a message, a wake up call to young women and people who see this and want to follow it. Sometimes the Most High, he gets tired now, and so she got to do all these things in a little bit of time, and was it worth it? Let me tell you. Let me show you something that she didn't see. Look at this picture right here. Now look at that. If that ain't a snake, I mean, the picture they talking about, well, you can't judge a book by its cover and all that. Yes, you can. Not in all cases you can't judge a book by its cover, but in many cases you can. That's the part they don't tell you. Look at that face. Look at him. Look at her and look at him. Right? She's so young and so impressionable. She thinks she know the world and all that stuff, but she's still a baby. Look at that face. He looked like all he needs is the slither. Oh, the sliver. He got the tongue. If he stick his tongue out, it's gonna be a forked tongue. All he needs to do is sliver. I mean, when I look at this, only thing he's not doing is foaming at the mouth. This is easy. It's like if my daughter brought somebody home and introduced me to him, and I saw him, I'm going into prayer immediately. I'm going into prayer. I'm going into prayer. I'm at war. I'm at war. That's it. And so you say, well, how he could have did this? He could have been nice, this and that, this and that. Ah, could have been, could have been. Yeah, 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 yeah. More likely, go by what you see. The Most High, one thing about it is that he gives us signs and warnings, right? A person, not in all cases I know, but a lot of times you will look like who you are, right? Let me show you what she wanted to. This the kind of stuff right here. Look, check this out. Looks like they may be on a jet or whatever, personal jet. This the kind of life that she want. She posted these things. She wanted to live and all that. Look, and this without young women be chasing that. Look, okay, he took her over into the motherland, took her over into Zanzibar, my spot, my home, Zanzibar. Did all this, look, proposed like he proposed to a kissing and all that stuff. Look, look, look. With a lion walking. The lion, look, the lion, see, pictures something, 1,000 words. The lion was yawning. He wasn't even growling. He was like, this is bull crap. That lion was like, she be gone. Ah, the lion probably could feel it. She be gone in a few hours. She be subtract from land. Watch the see again. Watch the yawn. Watch the yawn. Watch the lion yawn. Ah. Anyway, look at this character, right? I mean, he just, it's like a rat in the candy jar. Come on now. And she couldn't see it, others couldn't see it, right? They can't see it. They blind, right? So look at this. Here's another picture right here. Look at that face. That that look just said that says it right there. I mean, it's just frightening. I mean, I'm telling you. Now, let me say this. You got to understand. I'm talking about to you young women. You got to understand that a man that could be an enemy will still want to sleep with you. He could hate you and your people and but yet marry you and want to sleep. You know why? Because he may have a fetish for you, even though for your to the opposite sex of your people, he might be a man, but he has a white man. He has a fetish for black women, but he hate them. He hate black people, but he can still have a fetish or have a sexual desire, right? But also hate you, right? And and he ain't gonna tell you that. He got woo you in. He got to get you right. He could be the one of a Klansman, but yeah, at the end of the day, he want you because he want to make sure that he wants to just degrade you. He get a thrill out of it. Like when you give yourself to him, he's like, I'm a trasher. This is real, right? This is real. Meaning that this is what's been going on from the beginning of time. Like when men go to war, even throughout the scriptures, they went in there after they done slaughtered the men, the losers, the men would be killed, and then what would they do? They take the women and rape the women. What they tell you right there is like they can love you. They just killed your father, your husband, everybody else, your sons, and now they gonna rape you and your daughters. So don't get it twisted now. Think that somebody love you because you think you're beautiful or they want you, you're special, all that. No, no. When it comes down to men and their behavior, a lot of times they don't like you, and that's more reason why they want to get into you. More reason why they want to get to your panties when they hate you. I'm telling you. So we got to look at that and look at history. Look at history, right? Look at history. How people have treated us. You can't just be so open arms. And I'm telling you right now, every white person is not your enemy, and every black person is not your friend. I understand that. I do understand that there are good natured people in every race of people, but we still cannot let our guards down and not look to make look into things to make sure you good. You're a woman, right? If you're a woman, you gotta definitely be careful with men. I don't care what race they are, but then especially if they're not in your culture, you're a woman, and then you take on a man that's not of your of not of your culture, right? Not from your people. You now dealing with when you're alone with him, he's stronger than you, so you can't do nothing with him. So when he if he it has hidden hate in his heart, and then you're alone with him, and it's time for him to release that, what can you do? You done like her. Can you imagine the terror that was on her face when after she went through all of this and being treated like that, riding, flying on private jet, drinking champagne, being pampered, people probably treating her like she's the queen, and you know and getting room service, and you name it. I mean, pedicure, pampered. You see this stuff like walking with the lions, and this fairy tale stuff, all this stuff. After getting all that, and then the closing, when she was in trouble, when he turned and she saw the true him, and there was nobody there to help her. Can you imagine the fear, just the anguish, the terror that she had to deal with before she went unconscious? Somebody say, well, how you know he did it? Okay. Here it is. First of all, look at him. And then second of all, okay, you said we can't go by look. Second of all, he has not cooperated to help to get this young lady's body back to her parents. Obviously, she didn't have a lot of money. She was, living above her means, chasing after that fake rich life. He ain't even sent her back, give her money to get her back. He don't care. He gone about his business. Now that's a person that did it, if you ask me. Because if she had harmed herself, he would have been like, I loved her, distraught, like I gotta do whatever I can do to make sure people think that, let them know I didn't do it, not she just, she just she hung herself and you going on about your business. He would have been talking, this is normal behavior right here. If you know you ain't do something, this normal behavior, you would have been making sure, like, nah, it wasn't me, man. I'm so hurt that she did that. I don't know why she did that. She made me look bad, like I definitely I loved her, and we were gonna get married, and this and that, and I was surprised she did it, whatever, and I was when she did it, I had just went out. He didn't explain where were you when she supposed to have done this to herself? Why was you not with her at that time? What made you be apart from her, given enough time to do that? Because she would just all of a sudden do it. She come over there, she happy, she got everything, she at the pinnacle of her dream, the fairy tale life that she's going to be lavish for the rest of her life. Then all of a sudden, she just went and wanted to do that to herself. It don't add up. It would have had to be a reason to get her to that kind of decline. So where were you when she was declining? He ain't even talking. He ain't talking. So if you want to say how you know he did it, get away from me with that hogwash. All right, I'm going with my investigative mindset, and if I was going to put my whole pay, I put up my whole paycheck for the rest of this year. Me, in my opinion, he did it. So my thing is this. What makes it even worse is that it could have been a setup from the beginning, and he already knew probably that he was going to take her out. You never know what he had said to this woman that she know that he didn't want her to know. Like, this might not have been his first time doing something like this. You just don't know what she overheard. It's so many things that could have happened that he could have had to shut her mouth. She could have pissed him off, like I said, and with that enemy inside of him, like actually, come on now, 200 years ago or 180 years ago, that would her people and our people, they would have been enemies of each other, right? and over, even down into the 40s and 50s and 60s, civil rights movement, it was enemies against each other. So that stuff dormant. It could have been in them, you know. So when it kicked off that he, you know, wanted to take care of whatever he wanted to take care of, he could have been like, sorry about the phone, sorry about the phone. So he could have been like I got to get rid of her. And he ain't cared nothing about it because she might have known, so whatever. And then set this up and took her to Africa, right? So he could do all this stuff in Africa. See what I'm saying? Because she's African American of Africa, because we have African descent. Take her over there, it makes it look like he ain't no racist. Why would he take her to Africa? See how people playing stuff out because they try to play on on your intelligence. But see, you took her to Africa and did all this stuff and took pictures with her, all this, and get on your knees, proposing to her and all that. So that way you think that's how stupid they are. They think that we would think that. Now he wouldn't have did that to her. Some people stupid enough to believe it. He would have did that to her after he did all that. He took her to Africa. He ain't racist. He went over to an African country and took her back to where she from. You know, originally there her people would be from and all this. And he, you know, he planned that out and take her there. And on top of it, over there ain't no crime over there like in Zanzibar like that. So then this kick off, and then you know he also know they know. Look, check this out. There's two people that's in a whole nother country. Zanzibar authorities, you know, we can't expect them to carry out this investigation on a level that the United States may carry it out. You know what I mean? And plus, he got money. So you know, individual, he could the kind of money he got, he could slip somebody some cash and set them for the rest of their life easy over there, and they'd be like, "I'll take care of it." Okay, it was suicide. All right, all right, all right, all right. It's simple as that. He could slip somebody $100,000 or less. They can say, "Oh, I'll make sure that ain't nothing. You know, I can make sure that you don't have nothing to worry about." They try and get a body back. He don't want the body to get back because he obviously doesn't because he would have paid help to get it back. Why? Because the medical examiners here might look at it and say, "Oh no, this wasn't from her hanging herself. This right here got, you know, this right here. You can see the marks and the crushing of her bones in her neck or something. You know what I mean? So he don't want that body to come back here. So come on now, you got to look at all that. So anyway, I don't want to go on and on and on with this because I don't want to spend a bunch of, you know, your time. But I just want to say to our ladies and the men, um, stop chasing after materialism, right? And chase after righteousness. Here it is, beautiful as she is, and everything. She could have been with a decent young man, but she got to have some decency about herself too. You gotta when we got a heart after materialism and everything, we're not decent either. So we have to look at our outcome. Things are different for us. I grew up in the and I mean I come up in the 80s, most of me, my you know, my young years, my young teens, when I was 80s and the 90s. I mean, by the time I hit the 90s, I was grown. But anyway, I seen the war on drugs they claim and all this stuff. That stuff was set up for us. Our, I'm telling you, our women, a lot of men went to jail into that grave because the women were materialistic. I don't care how handsome you was or how nice of a guy you was. Niceness was not going to get you no woman a lot of times. What it was get you some woman is that material to get you the woman was that materialism. Our women was like if you had a Maxima or a Cressida or a Mercedes or whatever, or a big old gold rope or whatever, you could choose what you want, the most beautiful women. But if you came up there with a regular job, which you should have had at 17, 18 years old, 19, and you told them you worked at McDonald's, they would not talk to you. They'd be like, he is a coon. Good grief. He need to get away from me. He gonna come try talking to me. He work at McDonald's. Now, if I'm lying, tell me, say something, talk to me, leave it in the comments. A lot of the brothers who got into that drug trade and was getting locked up and going through all that stuff and in them graves, all of it because of what is natural. They desired to have a beautiful black woman, a woman, and they And I'm saying I'm not gonna give the guys a pass. Some of y'all, you wanted multiple ones. We wanted, you wanted like to have a lot of them and all that. I mean, but that's natural. The women have to control that by saying no. First of all, we supposed to be looking into marriage and not just fornicating and all that. And that's the deeper issue. That's why we suffer in our community. So, here it is. I lived long enough to live through all that and got myself in trouble with all that kind of stuff. So I'm just testifying to the truth. I know better now. So anyway, um, that's what our culture has become, and it's still going on. This hip hop, rap, and R&B. Everybody gotta have all this lavish life and pool parties with with the all kinds of Rolls Royces and all these fly cars and jewelry. All the words in the song is about sex and drugs and killing and materialism and cars and mansions. All this, what I'm gonna do for you, I can do for you, and this and that, and I'm gonna take you from your man, and all that garbage. They fed us that, and the prisons are filled up with us, and our women are chasing after that, and the men chasing after the material, and the men are chasing after women. They go out and do anything to get the material, to get all that garbage, so they can impress the woman, and then end up doing 30 years and she was somebody else. That's what they do. And in this case, the same kind of stuff, but even some of them are saying, well, I'm gonna go to a higher height because they believe, oh, this white man, he's above because he can do even more for me. You know what I mean? And then now you running into straight darkness, straight darkness. So my thing is that if you chase after righteousness, then you don't have nothing to worry about. There's nothing, and I'm gonna close on this. There's nothing that any man could give a woman above what the Most High can give you. He owns everything. Even the wicked, the things that they have are his. They can't take it with them when they're gone. They only got it because he's allowed it. He allowed them to get it. So the Most High can give you life. He can raise the dead. That's who you supposed to chase after. The things of his heart. After like David, he was a man. Dawid, he was a man after Yah's heart. That's what you chase after, ladies. All right. Do this. Do this. Live righteousness. Find out. Read and Proverbs. I think it's what around the 30th chapter, 30, the last parts of Proverbs, what a virtuous woman is about. Be virtuous. Set yourself up to be able to care for your husband, to take care of him, to submit to him, to walk with him in the Most High, to teach the children how to be obedient to the Most High and to their parents, and do everything you can do to take care of your home. Learn all these things, and then ask the Most High to send you the man that fears him, that wants to walk with him. Okay? That's what you do. That's what you do. And see, won't your life be prosperous? Right? And then you'll find beauty in the natural things, I find beauty in the things that the Most High has made. Like I go outside, like when I was in Africa, they people want to talk about the slums and all that, and I'm looking at them houses. I'm like, them houses don't mean nothing to me. I'm looking at these trees. I'm looking at all these things, all the things that the Most High has made. His hands touched. That's when you start look that you're not looking at material. I'm looking at what he did, right? I ain't worrying about the roads. The man put the roads down. I'm looking at that soil. I'm looking at that beautiful soil, how rich it is. That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at them trees and how fruit is growing off of it. And look how and it's just fresh. That's what I'm looking at. See, I'm looking at the animals that's just walking about freely, right? I'm just looking at all that. That's what I'm looking at. See, I ain't over there looking at, I gotta have this mansion and all this and that. Fine. I'm looking at the beaches and all the stuff that the Most High made. How the waves go in and they come out. I'm looking at the beautiful butterflies and birds and all the different things that do different things, the different kind of species of monkeys and different things. I'm looking at that and I'm saying, that is beautiful. That is beautiful. So anyway, I'm gonna stop right there. Leave a comment, share, subscribe, like, and shalom.